truth is, our jail right now is packed. We have 6 mentally ill people in there right now. Go over there right now and listen to the woman screaming nonstop while our dispatchers sit there and listen to it. You take us away or cut us back, she's going to be out there running around because there won't be anybody to bring her in. Our deputies, they're on the verge of just being done. Most of them don't even live here. They come here, they commute here to serve our community. They're not even from here. And we hardly hire anybody that lives here locally. They all can move here, come here to serve our community and our sheriff's office. And then they see these negative posts about what they're doing and what we're doing constantly. They're like, why would you put yourself through that? It's not worth it. So we have probably up to 6 already that are going to quit. 3 that already did. And they don't want to deal with it anymore. It's not worth it. And they're not from here. They're like, we'll just move somewhere else. Somewhere that's respecting what I'm doing. And overall, we do have pretty good community support, but it seems like the negative people always speak the loudest. They're the ones that are voicing everything. And most people just work hard. They do their job, they raise their families, and they don't want to be attacked, so they don't say anything. So I just ask that you support our officers, support our department. We're not asking for the world. I will never be rich doing this job. I want to retire doing this job, serving this community like I did out of high school, and I've been doing ever since then. And just ask that the commissioners give the community the opportunity to decide if that happens or not. If we're funded and we keep fighting crime like we have been, busting these druggies, dealing with fentanyl, trying to get rid of these homeless people. I just had a homeless guy come up to me the other day and hand me a handful of gun parts. Like, we have, crime is not the same as it was 20 years ago. It's getting worse. There's more people coming through here that are scary. We've had Brian Spitzer come through here and tear through our community, hijack a car, shoot out with the cops. We've had murders here. Thank God none this year, but 2 years ago we had 3 or 4. Well, actually it was like 5 total people that were murdered. So there's a lot of crime here. It's not a good place. The facts don't lie. The facts are Shoshone County has one of the highest crime rates, and we need to continue to fight it. We need the commissioners to give the people the opportunity to fund us, and appreciate you guys.
Captain.
For those of you guys who don't know me, I'm Captain Green. I've been having a pleasure to work here for the last few years. Came over from the state police side, and it's been truly an honor working with this group and had my eyes open a little bit as well. The comparison being from the state police side of what we went through, because cops all go through the same thing, so people think. And frankly, couldn't have been more wrong. County experiences a large percentage more of the truly heinous crimes and things like the sheriff said that keep you up at night. And given what she said, countless deputies have been in my office going, well, this just happened. I don't know how I'm going to keep going. This is playing through my mind. I haven't slept for a week, so on and so forth. But that's not necessarily to make people feel sorry for us. We did this for a reason, and it's not just the cops. So something that I'd like to kind of defer from a little bit, and just to send a message to the public, but also everyone here. The social media, the narrative, the talking points that get thrown out there, a lot of it's not true, some of it is. It amps up our emotions to where then we stop treating each other like community members. So regardless of which commissioner you agree with, regardless of which one of us you agree with, if not at all, regardless on what they vote on, I just encourage the whole group, particularly leaders in this community, of every agency, to thank the National for their service in doing this, because it's not easy taking this much criticism, and everyone on the other side of whatever you land on is also experiencing a lot of criticism. So try to frame it in a different light. It's just my plea to the public. We've had a lot of success in going after sex crimes, child crimes, drug houses. A lot of you guys have seen in the community that we've shut down. The teams and the extra people that we use to do those things have been proposed to become So we'd have to pull back those services, which is going to have that effect. And like the sheriff said, regardless of how the citizens vote, we're just asking that the citizens be allowed to vote, is what we're asking. And then based off what you guys say as a community, like you said, we're abide by that. We're going to do the best we can every day, no matter what happens here, is what I say to that. And the final thing is, you can't combat all the rumors on Facebook and whether we're having pizza parties and taking cars home, which both weren't true. But things like that get said, right? Come to the office, call us. We are incredibly busy. We might not be able to meet with you right then, but anyone who comes in will try to schedule an appointment to at least call you, and one of the command team will talk to you about any questions you have. Whether the budget, we'll walk through the budget with you. We've been under budget every year since this administration took office, which is another common misnomer. And we will always operate with what you guys do. Appreciate it.
So, Mr. Chairman, what I should have done the first time is explain what the resolution would do. This would be an ordinance, a resolution. It's called an election ordinance, calling for a special election to be held for the purpose of submitting to qualified electors of Shoshone County, Idaho, the proposition for a temporary 2-year excess levy of $1 million a year to pay for public safety and law enforcement purposes in Shoshone County. So that's what the resolution would be. It would be a 2-year temporary levy.
Okay. Should we start talking about, do you want to discuss this a little more on how each commissioner is thinking and how we want to move forward?
Yes, and I just noticed on here, looking at this, do we have a percentage per 100,000 of taxable assessed value per year on that? Yes.
It's, I called the tax commission, got the number. It's for the $1 million, $41.61 per 100,000. $41.61.
Yeah, if you couldn't hear him, that was $41.61 per 100,000.
One of the questions I have is this is a 2-year levy, and what are we going to do after the 2 years? This has been a problem since we've got here. It's county funding, and every year we're getting dropped down. Our roads department is not here, doesn't have a levy. They're going to have to start levying, and so really our whole county at this point, needs to levy. So that's one of the questions I have is, if we do it for one, we've got to do it for all. I don't know how we're going to, and a 2-year levy is just kind of kicking the can down the road. I'm just concerned that, we'll be back here in 2 years and doing the same thing. And, that's one of my questions I have. That's my concern that I have at this point.
Well, from what research I have done, it would appear that some counties do run their levies every 2 to 4 years or whatever. There is an alternative to run a permanent levy. I just chose at this point to propose the one with the least amount of impact, which would be a 2-year. But we certainly would have the option of running a resolution with a permanent levy. I don't have answers to all of your questions.
Commissioner Cowles, do you have any thoughts on that?
I guess I just want to know what, I want to reiterate what you stated, and is there any plans, if this were to pass, after that 2-year mark, if the Sheriff's Department has some sort of business plan in place to accrue more revenue? Is there kind of a future plan there instead of?
Well, what revenue we can crew is.
I guess
limited.
like grants and,
I mean, we can try to work other things, but we've been doing that the last few years, you know. There's been a cutback, obviously, federally and state, of the money that's coming in. And so it's difficult to say whether or not we'll get that. But I think this gives us the opportunity in 2 years to see where we're at truly. And then, because I've been told this is 3 years in a row now, I've been told a different number by 3 different clerks. Went from 1.2 million to 600,000. Just this year, we've been told 3 different numbers that we're short. And I think part of it is the clerks keep changing, and so they're trying to figure it out too. And that'll give Lori a few years to really figure out where we're at. This is her first year doing the budget by herself, and she's been doing a great job trying to figure it out, but making sense of the whole mess. Pretty much a justice fund was created, all the commissioners changed, all the admin staff changed in the sheriff's office, and no one can figure it out. Then the clerks keep changing. So we're asking just for the opportunity to give these 2 years, and then we'll see if we truly need a long-term levy we can propose and what that true number is. But I haven't heard the same number twice in 3 years. It's changed every time. And we're not asking for a lot more, but we need that opportunity to show our deputies that there is a future here, that when they move here from other states and other areas, they have a future here. And so we're just asking for the opportunity to at least get that 2 years to figure it out, and maybe go for a longer levy after that.
So on the grants too, this county is outside the norm, I will say, as far as its deputies actually doing grant work themselves, and they have been. So I've never seen before, I'm sure they exist in other areas, but I've never seen before where a road deputy takes it on himself to get a grant that's made the county hundreds of thousands of dollars, which has happened in our agency. We have another deputy who did all the work themselves outside of her own job titles per se, and got an additional 20 and left another 20,000 this year. We have another one who got 15,000 a different grant. I'm currently working on a $300,000 grant. The downside of grants, obviously, is the fact you now are relying on the next tier up to give them to you. So can we say for sure we'll get them? No, but we're doing everything we can to get grants on the side.
yeah, that's all I wanted to know was you guys are. And also, we do have our grants administrator too, so I would definitely sit down with her as well.
I just want the public also to know that, you know, we only levy for about $5 million. So really, every million that's raised, you're basically that $5 million, that's 20% for each million. And really, this county, you know, our roads department has been gutted this year. And we have what we call is PILT funding from the federal government. That's about $650,000. Last year, that $650,000 PILT was only passed by Congress by 3 members. That's only 3 members it took to pass PILT. And we're going to be running through some hard times coming up. And I can just see, the $5 million that we levy for, if you look out at other counties throughout the state of Idaho, their budgets, about 50% of their budget is their tax revenue. Ours is only 30%. We don't have a revenue base sufficient enough to fund the county. Now, you look at Kootenai, and we'll never be like Kootenai. And you look at the other counties, they're over 50% of their budget's taxes. Our budget is $14 million this year, and only $5 million of that is taxes. So that really shows you that we are really behind the curveball. But I don't think our citizens can afford to double their taxes. I mean, to really get us up to where our taxes would be beneficial for property taxes, we would have to come up with $7 million to equal what the other that would be, it's almost impossible with our property taxes. And they're just gonna go up, and I understand that. But we have people that are losing their homes, so this is a hard choice. But on the commission, figure out how we should go about this. And we're gonna be low in other departments. I know that our prosecutor's office, they get paid one of the less in our state. They're making $89,000 for our prosecutor. Kootenai's doing $125,000. I mean, it's hard. We're all of our county employees. It's difficult because they are underpaid to what our standards are across the line, and it's always been that way. Our fire department, our firemen get trained, they go over to the next county. It happens. We just lost one of our roads department, one of our head guys. He went to Kootenai County. And, this is just how this county is. I mean, we got to figure out how we're going to get through it. We can only, by statute, take property taxes, and we can take costs for services, and we do some state tax sharing. But I can see that with the state cutting back on, the state wants to cut their budget, and the federal government wants to cut their budget, and usually when they start cutting budgets, they start cutting benefits. They don't start cutting people. So that's what we're seeing right now, is they're cutting it, and we're getting the other end of the stick. You have anything further? Commissioner Cowles?
No.
Do you entertain a motion? Yeah, I'd entertain a motion.
Everything you said is true. This is the only idea that I have right now for how we let the taxpayers decide how important this issue is to them. So with that, I would move that we accept or approve election ordinance 2025-40, an ordinance calling for a special election to be held for the purpose of submitting to the qualified electors of Shoshone County, Idaho, the proposition for a temporary 2-year excess levy to pay for public safety and law enforcement purposes in Shoshone County.
Do we have a second?
This has been a very difficult decision for me. I'm not gonna lie. I bawled my eyes out because I gotta look out for all the taxpayers here and all the citizens. I've listened to everybody's concerns from both sides. So it's a very difficult decision for me. I ran on integrity and honesty. So this is not easy for me at all. I did not know about this levy until last week, and the health of the county meeting. And then last night I was sent everything to read. But I feel right now, I also believe that everybody has a right to decide. And with that, I will second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
One of the things I'm looking at is how fair it is to the rest of the county. And personally, I do not think it's fair that we budget one department. We got the roads department that has been laying people off. Now we're going to be without, road crews and things like that. And that we're only levying for the sheriff's department. I don't see how that is fair for our other employees in our county, and I have to think of that too. I also have to think about the people. And the people, that's a 20% raise in their taxes. I understand that it should be the people's choice. but I think it should be the people's choice on the whole county. I don't think it's fair what we're doing and bringing this resolution up for just one department. You know, this was brought to us on the fly during 2 weeks ago during the county meeting. We never had any time. We had a commissioner leave and come back, and this was brought on us. So this is a very difficult situation to be in, to try to decide what's best for our people. I understand the people's need for, our need for law enforcement. I also understand the need for all of our other employees in our courthouse and our roads department. So I won't vote. I won't vote yes on this. Thank you. All right. It passes.
Motion carries.
Motion carries. Nothing further, meeting adjourned.
See where it goes.